Guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary and high school age. Today we are going to be doing a homeschool update, so let's get into it. If you are not subscribed, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified of all of my future videos. And if you'd like more help and encouragement around homeschooling and home management and goals, I would love for you to come check out my membership community. I am feeling so good about how the year has been going so far. We are about 40 days into the school year. We did start early. I do have already one other homeschool update for you if you are interested. This has been kind of our second session slow start period of time since my last homeschool update, and we have added some new subjects, so I'm going to talk about those. The first subject that we added is actually multiple subjects. It's a whole course from Guest Hollow, the Government Economics and Personal Finance course. If you are going through and doing all of the things, it's a lot of credits. I think it's, I've seen people give it 3.5 credits. So 1 credit for government, 1 for economics, 1 for personal finance, and a half a credit for logic. Obviously, there are other additional things that you can add into it. You do not have to do everything. You can kind of make it your own. It is a literature-based curriculum. We have never used a full Guest Hollow program before, but we are very used to literature-based learning since we've been using Sunlight since 2010. So we definitely understand literature-based learning. It has been a really good time. I think that it takes us a lot of time to get through the course, and I may have to make adjustments as we go. So far, we've been enjoying it, but the struggle that I have is how much discussion is too much discussion. We are big on discussing government and politics and history and economics and all of that kind of stuff. And I was an econ major in college, so that is near and dear to my heart, and I really enjoy talking about those types of things. So we and my kids have opinions. Well, mainly Emma. Jack is along for the ride. I think he would be content to just get through the reading, get through the workbook, paper stuff, and move on. But Emma and I really enjoy discussing all of the things that they are learning about, and that's one of my favorite parts of homeschooling high school, honestly, is the discussions and watching my kids develop their own opinions and what they agree with me about, what they don't agree with me about, the arguments that they have with my husband about certain things. It's really interesting to see them develop that way. And it has been probably one of the most rewarding things from my homeschool career is to just see those well thought out arguments of what their views are. And I think that it has been a lot of fun. And this course has been great so far. Emma did do constitutional literacy a couple of years ago for her government half credit. And it was a good course and it had a lot of information, but it was a kind of dry and not as engaging, I guess, as this course is. So she doesn't technically need a government course. She doesn't need a history course either. She only needs an English credit to graduate. She has plenty of credits for all of the things, and we could have essentially made an elective year for her, which is kind of what I'm trying to do. But so far, it has been really good. We have been reading some fun books, and the way that I have been doing it is I read the spine with my kids and we have that discussion time. So I'm doing that a couple of times a week, and then they are responsible for the workbook pages and the additional reading. And that has been working well so far. We have not gotten into all of our classes yet. When I'm filming this, we are on our second week off from homeschool. We took 1 week off in August for Jack's birthday, and now we are off again for a week in September. Then we will go for another chunk of time and then take a week off. But when we go back to homeschooling after this week off, we will be in all of our subjects. And so it will be interesting to see how we can manage the load. I have definitely bulked Emma's math up quite a bit. She has been doing statistics and pre-calculus through teaching textbooks. Statistics is through Life of Fred, and I really enjoy that course. Pre-calculus, she's doing a great job. It's not her favorite class, but she is managing just fine. After this week off, we will be starting a consumer math course, and then of course she has personal finance with the guest hollow course, although we haven't started any of the personal finance resources yet. So overall, I think that that course is going really well. The other courses that Emma is working on currently are Sunlight 630, which is British literature. And in my last update, I was talking about how she had started the Canterbury Tales and selections from the Canterbury Tales. And after that video, she had a couple of more weeks of different selections, and she just did not enjoy the content. She thought it was inappropriate and not something that she wanted to be reading. And so I gave her the choice of whether she wanted to move ahead, and she did. So we moved into Sherlock Holmes instead of continuing with the Canterbury Tales. I think there are 26 or 27 books in the British literature course. Canterbury Tales is part of the AP curriculum for British literature, but I don't want my kids to feel like they have to read certain content just because it's, you know, classic literature. And so she decided to skip the rest of those stories, and that was totally fine for me. She is doing a great job with her papers. She's doing a lot of writing. She is still working on revising her novel. That has been more of a struggle for her. That is a big project that she's been working on this year, this novel that she's written, and she's kind of wanting to take it in a completely different direction now. And that is obviously a lot more challenging when you've already written a novel and now you want to change a lot of things. So we're working through that slowly but surely, and she's doing a great job with that. The creative writing course from Not Consumed, the kids are still enjoying that as well. Emma and Jack are doing that together, and I really like that course. I definitely recommend it. I'm not sure I would give a full credit. I think I mentioned this in one of my other videos. I'm not sure if I would give it a full credit for English, but it is great as a creative writing course, and the kids are doing a great job with that. So once we come back from this break, we will be adding in new subjects. That's primarily for Lucy and Jack. Emma is just adding that consumer math course, but she's doing all of her other courses right now, and she is doing a great job. We are working on time management. We are starting the book Getting Things Done for Teens by David Allen, and I think that that's going to be very helpful for them. I like to do personal development stuff with my teenagers. That's also just a fun part of homeschooling high school is to have some of those non-traditional classes, and time management is one of the things that I think everybody needs to work on. So we're going to be starting that, and she will be starting her consumer math course. That is also from Not Consumed, so I'm interested to see how that translates, if she enjoys it as much as the creative writing course. For Jack has been doing his English. He has not enjoyed the first two books that I chose, which were 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Robinson Crusoe. And he's doing the Brave Writer boomerangs that go with those books. I am so sad that he doesn't like them. I try every year to pick books that he enjoys. I think the old-timey type English is not for him. I don't know. It slows him down in reading, and which is fine. But I think that maybe I did think that those stories he would enjoy, but he's just not as much of a classical literature kind of guy. But we've been enjoying the Brave Writer guides, and I think overall this year is going to be a good English year for him. We are going to start a little bit more on writing papers after this homeschool break. And but overall, I don't have any complaints about any of the resources that we're using. And I think the fact that I've had such a slow start this year, where we started a couple of subjects, then had a few weeks, a week off, and then started some more subjects, had a few weeks, a week off, and then being in all of our subjects in the middle of September, I think that that just worked really well for us. And also not having public school activities has been a huge help as well. So Jack is doing Japanese 2 through Japanese from Zero, which is, he's doing a great job. Takes him a couple of weeks to get through a lesson. I think that he's on track to finish this level probably right at the beginning of February. And so he will move into level 3 before the end of the year. And then over the summer, he will still have a little bit of a break from Japanese, but will review vocabulary and such, and then continue on with level 3 starting in the fall of next year, I believe. And then the subjects that he will be adding are his science course, which originally when I did my curriculum choice videos was going to be an AP Intro to Computer Science class. However, I decided that I was not going to do that class because he is still on the young end for AP classes, in my opinion, and I wanted him to have something that would be enjoyable. We're going kind of a non-traditional route for science. I'm still going to have him do some biology and some dissections and kind of an abbreviated biology program, but I want his science course to be more computer science related. And so he is going to be doing a game design science course. It's from the same company that he was going to be doing the AP course from, and that's CompuScholar. And there are labs every week related to game design. And this is something that he has wanted to do since he was about 4 years old, I think, is when he first told me that he wanted to work for Nintendo. And that has been his path right along. It's one of the reasons he's taking Japanese. So I thought that doing this game design course for his science would be a good option for him, and just to understand if he really wants to do that. I mean, he does do a lot of video game design already. He participated in Game Jam. That was one of his projects over the past month. And he does a lot with Roblox, game design, and such. So I think it's going to be a good course for him. It's definitely going to add a lot of work to his schedule. And then the other thing that he will be adding is a music production course. I think this is more of like a half credit course, so I am hoping that it doesn't take him as long to get through. I don't know if we will try and do it just in one semester or if we'll spread out the half credit work over a full year. It will just depend on how things go and what the course is like. This is from Mr. D, who does a lot of math courses, but I saw this music production course and thought he would enjoy it because he has been working on an animated series with a friend for the past several months. They have released episode 1 at this point. I will leave a link for that in the description box if you're interested in checking it out. It is a short animated Minecraft series that he's doing the animation for, and the struggle that he's had is the music side, what he can use for music on the episode. And so this music production course will be good for fine art credit, as well as just giving him some extra tools as he's continuing with this animation. So Jack is doing a great job. I think overall, I wish that he enjoyed the books that I choose for him more, or that he could find more books that he's interested in. When he finds books that he is interested in, he flies through them, but it's really hard for me to find the books that he enjoys. And we didn't have interlibrary loan all summer. Now it is back, so I'm hoping that we can find some new books so that he can have some fun reading on the side. For Lucy, Lucy has been focusing primarily on science since we started back to homeschool in July. We've been using the survival unit from the Waldock Way, which I absolutely love. We're almost done with that unit, and I feel like it has been a really great course for her. I think she's enjoyed all the little activities, and I like that it was paired with a book series, the kids survival book series by Bear Grylls. So overall, I feel like that has been a huge success. That was really the only science that I planned for her for the year. We will do some nature study and some other seasonal type science stuff. I may end up getting another unit later in the year, maybe closer, after Christmas, depending on how things are going and how the rest of our year is going. But for right now, the science intensive summer and really going through that whole unit over about 7-8 weeks has been really nice. And we have a little bit left, which we will continue after this week off, but then she will be done with science for a while. It has been using teaching textbooks level 5 for her math recently. It was not my plan for her to do teaching textbooks. Usually I am only in Singapore math up through 6B, and then my kids test into Algebra 1. And so that's usually when I move them into teaching textbooks. But we did not start math this year. We didn't start Singapore math when she started her science. I was only focusing on science during the summer. It was a science intensive summer. I talked a lot about that. I think I have a video. I will leave that linked in the description box. This is something I used to do with my older kids when they were in elementary school, and it's something that I wanted to bring back for Lucy. So she's only focusing on science, but she said that she wanted to also do teaching textbooks. And so we got her signed up. She did the placement test and landed in level 5. And so she has been working through teaching textbooks and is enjoying it quite a bit. And I think that that's awesome that she wants to do math. She's not a huge fan of the Singapore method. It's how I like to teach math in the early years because there's such a focus on mental math. But I think that teaching textbooks has been great for her. I am planning to start Singapore 4A after we are on this break and see how that goes. It's a little bit of different material because they're different math programs. So how things are laid out is just different for every math program, which is why I recommend sticking with one math program instead of jumping around, because if you jump around, there's going to be a lot of holes. Whereas if you just choose a curriculum and go through it, those holes won't be there and you will get to everything. Teaching textbooks has been great for her. We also added in her language arts, which is Sunlight Level 4 language arts for her this year, and she's been doing a great job. She has been enjoying the In Grandma's Attic books. She read the In Grandma's Attic. It's like More Stories from Grandma's Attic, which is the second book in the series. And then she asked me about the first book, why she didn't read the first book first. And that book is actually part of, or it used to be part of, either level A or their K level. They've kind of adjusted the names of some of the levels recently. And so we read that maybe like 5 years ago with her, 5 or 6 years ago, maybe 4 to 6 years ago. And I did it as a read aloud. And so she ended up wanting to read that book. So she's reading the first book now after she finished the second book. And we will probably continue in that series, even though it's not scheduled in the language arts, because when I find books that she likes, I want to have her continue to read those books. I think there's a lot of value in that. I want my kids to have a love of reading and not just read because they feel like they have to. They know that they have to, but I want them to enjoy the reading as well. So after this break for Lucy, we will be adding in history. We're going to be doing an election unit study and talking a lot about government and everything leading right through the end of this year. It being an election year, it's perfect time to do this unit. There is a free unit study on Sunlight for the elections, but I also have the lap book, which is over there in that white and red box. So we're going to be doing that, and then we're going to be adding in more copy work for her. I use the Spelling You See books, not as spelling because she's actually quite good at spelling, but more for copy work because she does need to practice her print writing, and her handwriting for cursive is really very nice, but her print writing needs a lot of work. And so we are going to be adding in more copy work after the break. But overall, I feel like things have been going really well. And I mean, it's always subject to change. And there are hard days. There are days when nobody wants to do anything. There are days when we don't start school until 11:30 and then everybody is working really late in the afternoon. I definitely need to tighten up our schedule a little bit. I have been very lax over the past year, I would say, even like the last semester of last year, with just letting the kids get up whenever they want. Part of that is because I do a lot of work in the morning before they get up. And so having that dedicated time when I don't have to be thinking about breakfast or chatting or anything, and I'm just able to do my work stuff is nice. But I know that they need to get up a little bit earlier. We just need to get into a better fall rhythm. But I think it will be easier to do that now since all of the kids are back in public school, all of their friends are in public school. So getting up a little bit earlier, hopefully starting to get to bed a little bit earlier will be also helpful, and just working our schedules a little bit to make room for what is important to my older two for their passion projects, as well as getting all of the things that I find a lot of value in done as well. So that is my little homeschool update. I hope that you enjoyed it. I would love to hear how your homeschool year is going. If you've just started or if you've been at it for several weeks like we have, let me know in the comments. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and I will see you in the next one. Thanks guys. Bye.